what's going on? This is episode 23 of the Wet Shavers Roundtable.
What shaving people in what? Yeah, that was his Rico impersonation. Folks, we are back. This is episode 23, as Simon pointed out, of the Wet Shavers Roundtable. I'll be your host today, Douglas L. Smythe. And with me, I have Christian Levesque. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. This is where I'm at right now.
This whole show is just starting off disastrous.
Hey, everyone.
I have David. And with him, his lovely counterpart, Rocio.
Hi, guys.
And Simon Kojak Camaj. We got him in the studio with us today, or in our own special studios, our individual studios today, for a very, very special, I don't know, was it day after Thanksgiving? 2 days after Thanksgiving special episode of the Wet Shavers Roundtable. Sorry, folks. This is my first time doing this, and you have no idea. You have no idea how much of the controls, or how much control I have over this, how much power one could say I have over this, and I don't even know how to wield it properly. So we're going to be learning as we go today. And if we fall offline, I'm sorry, but it was bound to happen. So we're learning as we go. Well, that said, we have Simon, and what we would typically do, or what Rico would typically do, is interview Simon. So Simon, welcome to the show. We want to know a little bit about you. There's lots of listeners out there that really don't know you, but they want to know you. And so, with that said, tell us a little about yourself.
Who doesn't know me?
There's 3 people out there watching right now that have no idea who you are.
Those 3 don't matter.
Before you do hop into it, though, I do want to say, folks, you can participate in the show, ask questions, make fun of different members of our round table today by going to Twitter and shooting us questions at WS Roundtable. That's at WS Roundtable, and we will answer them as they come in. You can also participate on G+. So we look forward to that. Go, Simon. Tell us about yourself.
About myself. I actually started wet shaving because I was actually going to the barbershop every week, sometimes twice a week, and it cost me $40 each visit. So I got into the wet shaving thing trying to save money, right?
Yeah, we know how that goes.
Nice try. I went with Barasso, a Merkur 34C, and a Parker brush. Probably one of the worst brushes I ever used in my life, now that I upgraded to these brushes. But anyway, it's just like, yeah, so I got in the hobby with first using a DE. I contacted Stallion, Anthony Esposito, and he pretty much got me connected with Billy T on my first straight razor.
Okay.
So then pretty much from there was just like history. I have 100 soaps, 100 aftershaves, 100 shavers. Is like I've gone mad. So that whole like saving money thing, yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's how we get you.
Yeah.
So now I know you boxed in the past as well, Simon. What's up with that? Are you still doing that?
I am not actually. I haven't been doing it. I fought. What is it? 2 years ago. I want to say it was February. Was my last match. I just had so much going on. I actually fought all over the world. I fought in Scotland. You know, I used to travel, fight here and there. I fought a lot of the local shows as well. But yeah, I haven't been kickboxing for the most part right now. I want to get back into it, but it's just like, you know, I had a lot going on. I had the wedding, you know, preparing for that. Like Douglas said, it's a never-ending wedding.
It has been, right? It's been on and on, the longest wedding ever. Just when you think it happened, it didn't. It was amazing. But it's about to.
That's amazing. Yeah, but yeah, I want to eventually get back to it because I do miss it.
You better hurry, because you're not getting any younger. Your ass is already over the hill, so you better get a couple more fights in there before it's too late.
That is true. Right now I'm 27. I just turned 27 in October. And I'm pretty much getting the body of David Gonzalez, so I want to stop that.
That's the good life, okay? That is the good life.
Yeah, that's just living happy, bro. That's all that is.
I know,
Jesus, hold up. Like, you're 27 years old, so you're younger than me? Jesus Christ, you look like you're old enough to be my father. God damn. You people in the East Coast don't age well at all.
What are you talking about, man?
California sunshine.
Does anyone else have any questions for Simon involving or revolving around wet shaving?
How is your actually? I gotta do. Just being that you're recently married, how is your your wife adjusting to the life of a wet shaver, and not just a regular wet shaver. Let's face it, we're all fucking obsessed to a degree that's probably not healthy. How is she taking it? How was it a long transition? Kind of explain her ride along with you in this wet shaving shit.
When we first got together, whatever, I feel like she just looked at my collection. She was like, "What the hell is this?" Pretty much, I guess the regular, a non-wet shaver looking at our collection. Now she adjusted to it. I actually gave her some stuff, trying to make her shave this way, so that way I'm able to get more stuff, right? Like
yeah, it works, bro. It works.
It works. Anyway, she's not as into it as Rocio, but she enjoys it. Yeah.
That's good.
So is that what you've been doing, Simon, while, the past few months there's been, I think, a few less videos of you, so have you been coaching your fiancée on how to use, safety razors?
I've coached her, whatever. I even shaved her myself, honestly, just doing quick leg shaves and whatnot, but I didn't stop the parodies because of that. It's just there is no competition.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. I wanted to hop into the parodies. I don't know if a lot of you, there's a lot of noobs watching the show right now, but there was a time when we had a parody contest. Was this last year, Simon?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was probably about this time last year, where we had this big YouTube competition. Who threw that up? Was that Bailey that came up with that?
That was Bailey. Yes, it was for a custom Plasan brush made by Nathan Clark.
Right, that's what the Plasan brush of the gods thing pretty much started as well. So it was impersonate your favorite, or I don't know, impersonate one of the wet shavers out there, or all of them. And so it was you, Christopher Peace? Was he in it also?
No, me, Wesley Allen, Tim Blem.
Yep.
I'm not sure who else.
Yeah, I primarily remember you.
Who else?
Was that?
That was back before Tim Blem lost all that weight. He was a lot fatter and had the ponytail.
It's funny because I knew I was gonna win. I'm not to be cocky. I would
did
put
you
out
win?
videos every day. Every day you saw a different parody. It was
you were the winner?
I won it, yeah.
I thought Tim Blem won that one. Okay, you won it.
Come on.
David, did he win it? But yeah, these are some epic parodies, folks. I don't know.
I actually took them all down.
Why
No,
did you
you
take
ended
them
up
down?
taking them down?
I did take them down.
Hey, because this fool, Simon went hard on a couple people, man. Like,
Everyone.
Peter
Hard on everybody.
Charcalis and Gonzo, I thought were going to kill themselves after the fucking video. Jesus Christ. The one he did with me was funny, but good God, the ones he did with Peter and Gonzo, oh my Lord. There were some forces at work at that shit right there, man.
You got to put those back up.
Work, and I'm just thinking, like, of the next parody. So, I guess it just flew. I guess it worked. Yeah.
Oh, you got to put those back up. There were some harsh ones, but knowing that we're all good friends, I didn't see it as that, but I can see how other people would maybe. So yeah, that was my little introduction to Simon Camaj, was him tearing people up, and it was pretty hysterical. I miss those days. I want to bring that back. I think we need another parody sometime soon. There's a lot of new
another contest.
I think we do. Made for a Crown King brush.
It needs to be.
And with that said, folks, I would like to go into our little section called, well, we don't have a name for this section, but it's what did you shave with this week, or what's the gear you've been using this week? Do we have a name for that, David? Don't laugh at me, David. I'm struggling here.
I'm just enjoying the struggle. The struggle is truly real with you today.
I get. Well, I've been running around all day. It's
this
been
show
like crazy.
has probably never been as enjoyable as it is for me right now. Just seeing you just there, it's hilarious.
I have so much wacky stuff going on right now. Can you see this?
Yes.
Oh,
awesome.
Yeah. This is the shittiest Atari game ever made. E.T. I don't know. I just watched a documentary last week, and it was a kick-ass documentary. It's called Atari Game Over, and it's about the downfall of Atari, which happened, I think, it was 1984, and it was right after this game was made.
Okay.
And so for years, this game was getting blamed for it, and these were all of these leftover Atari games of ET, especially, were buried or supposed to be buried in the desert somewhere in is it in Arizona? I think New Mexico. In fact, the town, it escapes me now. I passed it on the way to Roswell. I wish I stopped there, but they had this big archaeological dig go looking for these games, and so there's that. But the documentary covers so much more. But if you were there in the '80s, you remember this game, and probably playing it for a few hours, then just giving up and never playing it again. But awesome documentary, Atari Game Over. Folks, watch that if you can find it. This will be making its way into some shaves of the day coming up soon. But yeah, I got a lot of stuff going on my desk right now. So with that said, Simon, what have you been shaving with recently? What's your go-to this week for different gear?
Well, I got some gear on me, if I could just mention. It's like 5 items. Real quick, I'll just walk through them.
Let's see your shirt, too. I think John Eplin's watching, so give us a little... yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Right there. He's a great guy. Him and his wife are excellent people. I like to support excellent people, honestly. That's just me. I'm late to the party. Parma.
Oh, yeah.
You get it from Razor Blades and More. It's like Aqua de Parma make, I guess you could say. And every time I just open the soap, it's a take on. Every time I open the soap, I pull a con. It's nice. Yeah,
people are really digging that.
Yeah. I would really recommend if you don't have it. I mean, I held out. I think this is actually the 3rd batch, but get your hands on it. It's amazing. This formula, I believe it's called the French Plus formula. It's killer.
French Plus, huh?
Yeah.
That's like language and math class combined.
Next, Killer Aftershave Harvest Moon. Oh, this
nice.
Stuff is, yeah. Not just because it was you, but I got the aftershave. Yeah. This stuff lasts long. Just smells.
Simon, you don't have to kiss ass to come on the show, bro. It's okay.
No. Don't listen to him, Simon. Don't listen to him. He's buttering my whiskers, folks. It's
just ordered 4 more soaps.
Yeah. They're all PAA.
Yeah, they are. Next, Razor Rock, Italian barber, Santa Maria. Nice. This aftershave actually came out much after the soap, but if you didn't get it, it's a must-have. It smells identical. I know some aftershaves are like a little off or whatever it is. This smells just like it. Get it?
Is that true though? A lot of aftershaves are off with this because I mean, to me, that makes no sense because they're using the same fragrance oils or the same essential oils.
What I get, I mean, it just must be me. What I get is sometimes you get too much of an alcohol scent, where it doesn't exactly smell the same. I mean, that's my take on it. It's like too much alcohol.
Also, something like with your original formula of Synergy 1.0, Douglas. Sometimes the soap base is so powerful and scent in itself that it kind of adds something to the fragrance oil. So you do a little bit of a transformation in the actual scent compared to that. Sure.
Once you bloom it, like.
I'm
sorry, Tom. Go on.
Once you bloom it.
No.
All right, my last item is Morrison Fondren. It's actually my 4th brush. It's like a plexi. I don't know if you guys can see it. My camera sucks. It's a blonde badger. Beautiful brush. I'm not going to tell you where I got it. If I do, I have to kill you. Anyway, if you could get your hands on a Morrison Fondren, I have tons of brushes, and I always seem to lean towards these. I have the two-band Finest and the blonde badgers. They're equally alike, and I love them. They give me great shaves, and the backbone's great. I mean, I can't complain.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you're not going to tell us where you got it?
Nah.
Fair enough.
Nah.
David and Rocio, what do you guys got?
Oh, I got one more. I lied. One more. Sorry.
Turn that mic off.
One more. For those of you that want a Gillette Slam Adjustable or Gillette Fat Boy, Delta Echo razors, excellent. I mean, I have one here with the copper finish with the black, and it is.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, for this price, you really can't beat it. It works excellent.
There's some really good looking work.
Yeah, this Jay does excellent work. I recommend getting one. Go, David. It's all yours.
Okay. Well, this week I continue to test out the Manchurian Badger from Shave Revolution. This is a fantastic brush, and again, I haven't asked Justin what's going to be the price point for this brush, but knowing him, it'll probably be somewhere a little bit under $100. Mm-hmm. Honestly, if you could get this brush for anything under about $140, it's going to be an absolute bargain because this hair is absolutely top notch. It's going to give you similar backbone to one of those Morrison Fondrins and one of the Paladin brushes, but I actually do feel that the tips on this particular knot are a bit softer than those. And I have used the Lisa Beanie knots that does the Morrison Fondrin and the Paladin knots. I've used both their finest and their Blonde Badger, and this one's pretty damn awesome. So Justin, hell of a job with this one. Look forward to this brush coming out, man, because this knot's awesome. For a soap, for the very first time, I used a soap by Eric and Samantha Daniels, Mickey Lee Soap Works, and this week I actually used Panty Dropper.
I love the title.
Yeah, it works. So I used both the soap and the aftershave for this one. Just with a lot of the artisans coming out here, I don't know if you guys are sharing recipes or what, but awesome performance. And what I like about their soap is I guess all the artisan soaps nowadays are pretty soft, so to speak. But this is one of the stiffer versions of them. I'm not super thrilled by the soap formulas that are like halfway cream, halfway croak type of stuff. This one actually is stiff enough to be considered a soap, so I really do appreciate that. And lastly, I just got a mail call just moments before we started this show. I got this brush from K-Shave Works. It's their silver tip knot. It's their silver tip knot. They did a acrylic candle that starts off blue, fades off into a clear resin, and then goes into a black. So I'm really liking this brush. So that looks awesome.
Actually, they were nice enough to send me this one, and the way David got his is that he was being a crybaby.
I wasn't being a crybaby. I just mentioned that the brush that was sent for us for testing wasn't for me. It was for her.
Yeah, being a wife.
I got a wife too. I want one.
Well, it worked. So he got his. Yeah, they sent it today.
So awesome. So thank you to Evan and Kim. What was that?
I said what probably happened is you send a picture of your door and they felt bad.
Hey, he painted it.
Hey, the door looks fantastic now, Simon.
It does, but the moldings look bad.
Well, that's my next project. That's when I have some free time to do that shit.
Looks good.
I mean, it's only been off the whole week, you know?
Yeah, it looks good. It's progress.
So that's all we have. So I guess Christian or Douglas could be next.
Christian, you take it. I'm working on the show. It looks like
doesn't know what he's doing.
I had this. Well, yeah, there's that too. But I had the show on private, or I didn't share the right link with people, so they were having trouble seeing it. But they're finding the right link, so it would appear that we are being watched.
Way to wet the bed there, Douglas.
Wow.
Dude, I'm only one man.
One man army.
Yeah, I'm a one
I know Rico was able to do it.
Make this up as I go along. Shut up. Okay. Christian, it's all you. What you got?
All right, so I got my the Shave Market. Jeez, oh crap! Where's the camera on this? I'm using my iPhone today, folks. So sorry about the wobbly. Is that Yeah, there we go. So it's a beautiful blue resin handle made by Beaver Woodwright, a 24 millimeter synthetic knot. And I got it for about $64. I finally got it. It was a limited edition run for the Facebook group, and it has a beautiful weight to it. And this 24 millimeter, I now have enough experience to know the difference between 20 and 24 millimeters in terms of face feel and face lathering. And this has got a lot of bristles in it, and it splays really nicely and lathers up the soap beautifully. So I love this brush. It's a great big brush.
Kelly Hogan makes awesome brushes, man. I love Kelly Hogan's work. I have a custom brush for him too, and I love it.
Yeah, Kelly Hogan does great work. His soaps are great. His everything is great. But just a quick question. Yeah. What do you guys feel on, because me personally, I wouldn't use anything less than a 24 millimeter knot. What's your take on that?
You wouldn't use what?
anything less than a 24 millimeter knot.
I agree with you.
Yeah. I just feel like
Yeah, 22 millimeter is my preference. I have used 22 millimeter brushes. I don't think I've used anything smaller than a 22, which the 22 is fine, but yeah, my sweet spot has a tendency to be 24 to 26 millimeter.
Yeah. I'm looking at my own list of knots here, and they're all 22, 24. Actually, my Parker, my first brush, just like Simon, Parker Synthetic. I actually really liked that brush for a long time, but ever since I've gone to the 25 millimeter from Mule Silvertip on my VSB brush, that totally destroyed the Parker. That was the destroyer.
It's funny, I still have the Parker and still use it, but I butt floss with it.
That was TMI, man.
Yeah, I could have lived the rest of my life without knowing that shit, Simon. Thank you so much. Jesus Christ.
I'm pretty crude. I've got a good imagination, but that was special. Yeah, I can't wait to see your next video now.
So send the brush to David.
Yeah, put it on his door and re-dirty it.
Yeah.
Paint the molding.
Oh, God. Oh, our poor audience today. Not only have we made it very difficult for them to follow us, we're also pissing in their ears right now. I'm sorry, folks. We're trying here. It's amazing. You don't know how much one guy can be the glue that holds everything together until he's not here.
Rico, we miss you.
Yeah, Rico.
No, and I think what also happens is we know Rico's such a nice guy that we all kind of try to watch our mouths a little bit more when he's on. But now that he's on,
that's bogus.
I think the shackles are off.
Opposite.
And then just so happened to freaking put Simon Camaj on today. If I don't if I don't make the rating bad enough on this fucking show, now having Simon and myself on here, yeah, it's going to be inappropriate for children. So if you do have anybody under the age of 16, you might want to ask them to leave the room while you're watching this show.
Wear headphones.
To watch this show.
Yeah. So Ray, if you're watching right now with an underage person,
for you.
Yeah, good for you. What else you got, Christian? Is that
it? The other thing is my 11/16 wedge, Wade, and Butcher razor. I went back to straight raising this week. Straight razor shaving, and but I think straight raising sounds pretty cool too.
It does actually. It sounds like a verb. I'd buy that.
Yeah. And it's been rough on my face. I've never done 6 days in a row with the straight razor, and my face is telling me I got to ease up. So the last 2 days I've only done 2 passes, and I've really been paying attention to the pressure, because the way it goes down, it feels like I'm not cutting anything. It's like, okay, let's plow into the skin, or I try to go really light. It's so light that the blade just touches the skin and wants to go right inside. So anyway, I have to work on my combination of angle and pressure, and I'll work through it as my face gets narrower and narrower and redder and redder.
So, and scarred and scarred. Simon, do you have any advice for Christian on that?
Any advice on straight razor shaving? Just take your time, stretch, honestly.
Well, that sucks, Simon. You have no other
You could even do one pass, honestly. Like the way I started.
You just figured out the biggest reason. You just figured out the biggest reason why he's not doing videos no more, because those are the fucking gems of wisdom that he gave on his videos.
It's advice, honestly.
I have been stretching. I have been stretching more, and that helps. But I think it really is my question of pressure and angle. That's my big. And I can't believe I can't figure out the angle properly. But anyway.
It's just muscle memory, it's just a whole different animal.
Yeah. I do know that with safety razors, my touch is golden on that. I love my safety razor shaves. My straight razor shaves are still a big challenge, and I'm now at over 100 shaves with them. And the last few shaves before I got these honed by the Stallion, Anthony Esposito, they were really brutal shaves. Anthony fixed them up, and it shaves really well, I guess, but this week I've been really brutal on myself. So I'm going to just keep plowing, though. I'm not going to give up, because I know I could do it before. So
Sure. Now, are you left-handed or right-handed, Christian?
I'm naturally left-handed, but when it comes to shaving, totally ambidextrous.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so
I feel if you shave, you actually use both hands.
Yeah.
I don't know how people do that. I mean, just with one hand to do their whole face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it's hard.
If you use both hands, I think it's a lot easier for you.
That's where I'm going with this. So, are you using both hands right now, Christian?
Oh yes, definitely. Yeah.
Now, when you start off, do you start off with your dominant hand or your weaker hand?
Yeah, my first, each pass, the order of left and right changes, but I always start with left, but it changes which quadrant that I'm shaving. So my first pass, my left hand, I go down on my left side, and then I switch hands to my right side on the face, and then I just rinse the razor there, and then go back down the right side of my neck, and then rinse, and then use the left side for here, rinse, and then lather. And then now I'm going cross, left hand, right side at this point, and then right hand, left side, and then right hand continues at that point going down right side on my neck, and then left hand, left side neck. Then the third pass, see how it changes all the time based on whichever's more
you're a
comfortable.
tricky one because you're going at this ambidextrous, so it's tough to really, pick this apart and figure out what's going on there. But if you had one hand that was more dominant than the other, I would say start off with your weaker hand first, with the first pass, anyways, and then rather than use your dominant hand first, and then switch the weaker one. That way, you're putting more time and energy into the first pass with your weaker hands. And strengthening the muscle memory eventually before you. It's kind of like for women, like they don't paint their right-handed nails first. They paint the left first, so they can. Yeah. So it's easy. You know what I'm saying?
Douglas, you did that before.
I did theater, but okay, bad example.
I did theater. Nice excuse.
Go on. I'm just trying to fill up space here, guys.
Douglas, on that point, in terms of just developing the muscle memory, something that I recommended to a lot of people, and they've come back to me saying that it works, actually using the Chevette without a blade.
Blade, yeah.
So just applying the soap and just actually using your offhand to go down with the grain. Just developing that muscle memory. Yes, I know that a Chevette, the actual cutting angle is a little bit different than a straight razor. I know the weight's going to be a little bit different, but just the general feel of it in your hand.
No, that's really good.
It helps a lot.
No, that's good advice.
Yeah, so I started off with a Chevette. I didn't start off with a DE razor. I started off with the Chevette, and I felt that it helped me a great deal. Is it going to be the ideal situation for everybody? No, because you're going to have to find what's ideal for you. But if you're struggling with every other way, there's something else you could do.
I'll take it a step further and say, if you're at a Salvation Army or wherever, antique store, buy a cheap straight razor that has a really dull blade, or something that you can screw with and maybe put some tape over, just so it's a weight and a straight razor, and use that while you're watching TV or whatever, just to get that muscle memory down. Because in drumming, here's another analogy. In drumming, we use heavier sticks to practice with. So when you actually hit the drum kit with thinner sticks, you have more control over it, and it builds muscle and muscle memory. That's why and then we have practice pads too. So this would be very similar in that regard, where you have a practice straight razor, just using it for the muscle memory. Then you would use a real straight razor during your shave, obviously. So how's that?
I guess that works with everything, because when I was training kickboxing as well, we would practice, spar with heavier gloves. So when we would actually throw on the 10 to 12 ounce gloves, we'd be lightning fast, and whatnot. So I guess it works with everything.
Yeah, or like wearing a weight belt, doing plyometrics.
Yeah.
Totally.
I don't need a weight belt. I have enough weight on me.
I'll give it a try. Like I almost feel like the only way I know if I'm doing it right is if I'm actually feeling it and doing an actual shave. But I'll give it a shot. I'm going to wait another week, because I think this week, hopefully, my skin gets better. It won't be as hypersensitive to everything. And because the first few shaves, I think I was a bit cavalier, going, I've got this safety razor stuff nailed down. I've done 100 straight razor shaves already. This should be a breeze. I've watched videos. and no major cuts or anything, but it's like, oh my God, I just poured fire on my face after the first 2 days.
No, that's yeah. Again, pick up a dummy straight razor if you can find one.
Yeah.
Don't pay more than $5 for it.
Okay.
Maybe hit it with some sandpaper to take the blade down too. But I would. I'm just curious. I want to see someone do that.
Well, a while back, Douglas, we had Luke from StraightRazors.com, and the Grimm's Blade he was on. And if you go on StraightRazors.com, they actually sell practice straight razors. I'm not sure exactly the price since I never felt the need to get one. But again, I do hear that they're dull, and it's just for the sake of practicing. So that's an option for somebody.
There you go. I didn't even know he did
Very
that.
best.
That's awesome.
It's Grimm's Blades. Grim Blades.
Yeah, well,
StraightRazors.com.
Yeah, StraightRazors.com. He has I think StraightRazors.com. I think he also owns the right to vintage StraightRazors.com as well, and I think it leads pretty much to the same site. Or Grim Blades, I know, is a separate site in itself. There wasn't much on it, but yeah, his primary site where he sells stuff off is going to be StraightRazors.com.
Perfect.
Nice.
For those of us that are familiar with Anthony Esposito, he always has the gold dollars on hand. He could probably send you a dull gold dollar for that as well. Same
thing with Larry over at Whip Dog. He's got a lot of junk razors there too. He might have be able to, if you contact him. He likes to talk to people on an individual level too, like one-on-one on an email. So it's just a question you might be able to ask Larry at Whip Dog if that stirs your fancy.
Yeah, I even thought about doing my own video and asking for people to give me feedback,
Oh, that's what happened with Peter Charcalis. Peter Charcalis was really struggling with the straight razor shaving at the beginning. Yeah. And a lot of us kind of took it upon ourselves to message him privately and kind of give him pointers. But I know, I think Claudio Portugal helped him out. Jorge Oveda helped him out. I know Anthony got involved. So, yeah, that's exactly what Peter did. And that was the intention of his YouTube channel in the beginning, to just kind of have people follow along with his journey learning how to straight razor shave. And now he's some international superstar with all his travels. Balls blossom or something else. But, yeah, that was how it was in the beginning.
Yeah. And that's exactly how Larry does it, too. Larry used to have a training program, I don't know if he still does, over at Whip Dog, where you'd send videos of yourself shaving into him and he would pick it apart. So very cool that you guys came to that on your own. Okay, what do I have?
Thanks for the feedback, guys.
No problem. And anyone out there watching, if you have any feedback or tips for us, by all means, tweet them over to us. And again, I'm juggling so many things here right now, folks, so if I haven't got to your tweet yet, it's because, well, it's just because. It's been, again, a long week. It's the holidays. I've been traveling. I got some stuff coming in. I got some stuff coming out. One thing I can say is I've mentioned this a million times, but the Merca freaking 45. Let's see. Can we see this? This is one of the best, underrated, only rated by myself for the most part, modern Bakelites out there, and just razor in general. I love it. One, because it's super light. I like that in razors for some odd reason. Most people go for the heavier handles. I like this. I like this especially in the summer. I like lighter razors in the summer. I'm not sure how that works or why, but it's just something I prefer. But when I travel too, I don't feel bad about using this or traveling with it, or because it's not an expensive razor. It's not a vintage Bakelite either, and it just travels really well. But just a beautiful travel razor. You don't have to worry about drying it off. You can just throw it right in the bag when you're done. It's not going to rust or anything like that. So Merca 45 has been traveling with me this week for Thanksgiving. I highly recommend it.
Just for everybody out there, what kind of price point are you looking at those? Because inexpensive for you may be different than inexpensive for me.
Oh no, dude! This is like $500. It's super inexpensive. No. It's like 20
price point. Jump change for you, Doug.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's like 24, 25. Actually, I think I carry them too.
Yeah, not all of us have been on Forbes and all that stuff, so we don't know. We don't got 2 pennies to rub together and shit. You're over here living the lavish life with the $500 plastic razor.
Oh God, no!
This is MTV Cribs.
I'm sorry. It's $35.97 actually, if you want an actual price on that.
You're killing me, Dougie.
But again, it's just such a freaking awesome razor, and you will use it for so much more than just traveling. It's just a great razor altogether. I highly recommend it. or at least ask for Christmas, David.
There you go.
You know, this is the thing. David will ask me, will say stuff like that, but he's got so much free stuff being sent his way on a daily basis. No one ever sends me stuff. David, before the show starts, he's opening up boxes and pulling out. It's like, I never get anything. And then when someone does send me something, they send me a mug with a mustache on it. That's what I get. And I really appreciate it. But what I did get today is... yes, A Midnight Dreary by Katie's Bubbles. We just started carrying Katie's Bubbles, so I have yet to shave with this. I'm looking forward to it. So I got this in today. I also, because we returned yesterday from California, so I didn't. This stuff's been sitting in my warehouse waiting to go out. But I also got Krampus. We carried Dr. John's, as you know. So I got Krampus, the soap, and the aftershave. And all I have to say is, woo, daddy! I mean, this stuff. John really did a great job on this. It's just excellent smell. I'll be wearing this tomorrow, so I'm excited about that. So this is kind of like...
What's the scent profile on that, Doug?
It's honey. Let me see if I remember. Honey, myrrh, cider, berries, anise, and fear.
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 Yeah. Speaking of fear, can you see the shirt?
No.
Stand up.
Stand up, fool.
Ooh.
Stand up.
There you go. Yeah, show us that pot.
Show us that pot belly.
Dude, that's a six-pack. Six-pack of beer that did that to me. Anyways, Overlook Hotel, come on. The Shining, people. And with that said...
That's the Shining one, right?
Exactly. That means The Shaving is coming soon, folks.
Nice.
That's right. A holiday classic, much like The Shining. This is Ray's The Shaving Ray Rum. Buttered Ray Rum.
So funny.
Ray Rum. So that's coming out on Monday. But I've been using this lately. Yeah. This is the Crown King formulation, though. So
I love that Crown King formulation is fucking awesome, dude.
Nice.
Hey, next time I get an order of Santal and Fumis, can we try it on the Crown King?
Yeah, that would be a whole new label design, but we'll talk more about that later. Well, the thing is, Phoenix we changed the formulation in Phoenix as well, so we'll have to do a sample of both for you before we jump into anything. But so that's like my shaves this week and my shaves. Yeah, my upcoming shaves. I didn't do what I was using last week is I was talking about last week. So that's that, folks, for my weekly shave. If that made any sense at all. Now, let us turn to the forums and see if there's any questions out there. Please, God, let there be questions.
Well, hey, Doug, while you're looking over the forums, all confused the way you are, we do have a little bit of an announcement. The So Sharp Limited T-shirts have arrived this week, so both me and Rocio are wearing them. Rocio is wearing the Shave Life shirt. You see that?
Nice.
And then I'm wearing the True Classic, which is depicting the iconic Gillette Aristocrat on there.
Oh, that's what
Awesome detail. We also have hoodies that came in with the Shave Life design, as well as women's cut T-shirts as well. So Rocio is wearing the women's cut T-shirts, so those will be available for you guys at the very latest December 1st. I'm actually trying to have them available for Monday, the 30th. Get a little extra day in there for the whole Cyber Monday stuff. So check it out, SoSharpLimited.com.
Nice. Okay, so I'm getting some tweets here. A shout out to Simon for eating on bed during the show. He's doing a David.
Doing a David, yeah.
Thanks, Adrian. Mark, great job, Douglas, digging the brushes. Thanks, Mark. I don't know what you're referring to, however, but thank you for digging the brushes. Maybe that's just about brushes. Oh, love the new shirts. James just replied. Ask Simon if he has to sell his... Okay. Simon, do you have to sell...
James, love you.
Simon, did you have to sell your M&F brushes? Wait, here we go. Ask Simon if you had to sell your M&F brushes, which one would you refuse to sell?
All of them.
Oh, that's
none
Marty.
are leaving my house. I have plenty of other brushes I might part with because I have so many, but M&F and S, Simon is like this. We're never leaving each other. The brushes are mine.
Nice. I'm getting some random stuff. It's really weird, like Mantic.
I know our viewers are not very productive. They just like to heckle us on fucking Twitter. They're like,
I don't know. I don't know what this is. Mantic sent me a shave of the day photo from someone else. I don't know what that's about. And then the Shave Mercantile posted an ad on our feed. It looks like. What else we got? Oh, wow. James. Jam and G.I. James started out using a butter knife, I guess, to practice with, or so he states. Is that the truth, James?
That's a good concept because you could do that and then just make a bagel as well. So it works pretty good. I've never heard that before.
No, I think
I know the butter knife is to learn how to strop. Get the motion with your hand. I've heard about that.
I don't know what he's talking about. Guys, keep those questions coming. Again, I apologize for all the confusion in the beginning if we had some viewers that dropped off. Because it seems like G+ isn't working either. Like, I'm not being able to see questions coming in from that. So, got that going on. So let me just run over to G+ and see if they're manually... Yeah, no.
God, I wonder what Rick's doing right now. I really miss that guy.
Rika's probably watching us and laughing his ass off. Okay, yeah, I got nothing over here. So that brings us back to the show at hand. And I'd like to bring up something, and this is a good question actually for our listening audience or watching audience, if they are in fact watching, is the Fat Boy. Who knows anything about the Fat Boy that's supposed to drop at Art of Shaving this Christmas? I keep hearing different stories. Some was saying it was Thanksgiving they were going to do this, but that didn't happen. So now I think they're saying, or maybe they already always did say that it was happening during Christmas. Is that true? Do you guys know anything about that?
I think this is all going to be like an urban legend, dude. I don't think it's really going to happen. And if Art of Shaving does release that shit, it's going to be expensive as all hell, dude. It's going to be... That shit's going to be pricey. I can't imagine that shit be any less than $200.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. And then, after it's sold, because it's going to be limited edition, right? So imagine that on eBay.
Oh, yeah,
I would imagine
it's going to go for $1,000.
Yeah, it's going to be ridiculous. So if that's if it happens. And the only reason why I think I don't know. I don't know if they're screwing us or not, because I've seen people posting emails from Gillette. They've asked Gillette. They've emailed Gillette, and they keep replying to them, but really vague and cryptic. So it's like they're screwing with people, or it's really going to happen, but they're like...
I don't think it make any sense for them to release it on Christmas, because a lot of people are going to be tapped out, and I'm sure they want these shits to move, especially if it's a promotional thing. They want to take their money and, real quick. So it would have to be released at least a couple weeks before Christmas, because on Christmas doesn't make sense to me.
Well, for anything else... Okay, here's the thing. Is Gillette releasing a safety razor? Right there, that's kind of weird, because they're over that, unless they really are paying attention. And if they really are paying attention, they know that if they release a safety razor, and if it's limited edition, it doesn't really matter, but if they release a safety razor on Christmas, we're still going to buy it.
Yeah, we're still going to buy it. It doesn't matter.
You know what it is?
Like all these seasonal scents. Sorry, go ahead.
Christian?
I just wanted to say, I think this is the way for Gillette to figure out the size of the market, is to release a collectible item in the 21st century. They've never done it before. Release it at the time of year when every father figure gets something shaving related, cologne or whatever, something grooming related, and they may sell. I think they would sell it at $100. It would make total sense. I mean, there's still a $90 gross profit on that. And that would tell them right away, yep, we've got 150,000 traditional wet shavers in the U.S. That's, you know what I mean?
Their brushes run over $200.
Yeah,
I know, but they're rebranded.
If they sold those shits for $100, they'll fly off the shelves. There'll be people probably buying 5 of them at a time.
Yeah.
Again, I cannot imagine if their brushes are $200-something, that fucking Fat Boy would be any less than $200, $300.
Yeah.
I agree with you. It'll be an awesome gauge of the market for them. See if they want to dip back into it. But man,
yeah,
they're everything they charge for is an arm and a leg. So that's
even that though. It's like if you've been watching the Black Friday videos over the last couple of days, like how horrendous those were. Imagine Art of Shaving. They dropped the Fat Boy. That'll be like.
We'll be wielding straight edge.
Yeah. I'm gonna be at the mall covering that when that happens. Screw that. I'll have Fran stand in line for me for that one. I'm gonna be disrespectful. God. So that happened, or that's gonna. I hope that happens. I really like to see.
Yeah, it could be us projecting our little fantasies of a new Gillette razor.
This is the year, though. A lot of stuff's coming back. I mean, you got Star Wars coming back. You got possibly the Gillette. You got Clubman making their own shave soap now. So they're clearly paying attention. I mean, they even had a pre-sale or a list. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I mean, they have mustache wax and everything now. Yeah.
Well, the mustache wax they've always had, but
okay.
But the shave soap, like, this is the first time. The thing is, the trouble with it is, but they did a pre-sale. I remember when I was leaving for Boston. Back in what was it, September? I'm pretty sure they were selling it then. It wasn't going to be released till, let's see, what is it? Maybe it was the beginning of November. I can't remember the exact date. I think they did end up pushing it back though, but they did a pre-sale, so there was a list that you could be put on, and they would just ship it out to you when it was ready. And it took a little bit longer than what they expected, or maybe they just weren't set up for that. But it was Pinard Clubman, and so people were all expecting that classic scent. Turns out it's not that scent. I'm not sure what it's. I don't own it. I don't even know what the ingredients are. I don't think the ingredients are on the container either. So I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if it's like Badger soaps, where it's like a cold processed soap that doesn't really lather well, or what. But I'm curious. I need to pick one up. Is what it all comes down to. But I want to know the performance of that. Have you heard about that, David?
The actual shapes. I'm sorry, I had to step off and do something real quick. What exactly are you asking?
The Clubman soap that just came out.
Oh, well, I know some of the wet shavers on YouTube have already gotten their hands on it.
Yeah.
I've been basing, so I actually haven't seen it. I know Anthony Esposito did a video of it.
He did.
I haven't heard much. I haven't heard much of anything. Clubman is a predominantly barber.
So I think it's going to be a classic barber shop smell.
Yeah, imagine it'd be a barbershop scent, because that's their primary target. They don't target consumers.
No.
Like, even if you notice, none of the Clubman products at any of the stores are in large numbers. They don't have an abundant numbers of stock inside any kind of store. They actually rely a lot on wholesalers and distributors to deal directly with barbers and supply them with those products. So they're not tailoring for us. So that's why I'm even surprised they released the shave soap, because most of their whole business model is not towards the consumer like that. So I don't know if barbers using soaps like that, or I don't even know if they're even allowed to in California, but maybe in other regions in the country. But yeah, they don't really rely on retail sales like that.
Don't barbers use a powdered soap or a liquid soap to go through that heat machine and comes out with a hot lather? Yeah.
Typically. So that's why I'm saying, you remind me of this, Christian, when you were saying that Gillette could be testing the market. I think Clubman is aware of what's going on. They've been watching, and they too are testing the market. It may be changing their model or trying to break into another scene with this. And what I was saying, David, is the scent supposedly, it's labeled Pinard Clubman, but doesn't smell like it, that classic scent. So a lot of people feel like they were ripped off to a certain extent.
Well, what they probably did there is because the shave soap is probably more a consumer item, they wanted to change its identity a little bit more. Because the classic Clubman scent is a barber product. A lot of their products are tailored towards barbers and to be used in a professional manner. So since this is, again, I don't think most places are allowed to use soap for sanitary reasons.
In California, at least.
At least in California, and probably a lot of other places. I can't imagine we're not the only anal fucks that don't want dirty soap used on other people. But that's probably why they used a different scent, because they wanted to change the identity for the consumer, for our actual retail consumer, as opposed to the barber industry that can't use it, won't use it, don't need it.
That's interesting. It's funny that you say that, because I never thought of them as just particularly going through barbershops, and I think that might be just how we know them. Our generation knows them, but I think back in the day they were more sold to the masses, because my drum teacher growing up, that's what he wore, and it took me years to figure out what he was wearing till I bought a bottle of the stuff myself. And I'm sure he wasn't.
Yeah, absolutely. But also back then, barbershops would sell it. So even a lot of those people were picking it up at barbershops. Look at any store, Rite Aid, CVS, where Clubman is sold. They'll have like 3 bottles of the aftershave in stock.
and that's pretty much it.
They'll never have a lot of them in.
Club Mint carries a lot of products. Like
Yeah.
Way big.
Yeah, no,
Still actually used to work for a barber and beauty supply distributor. So for about 5 years, we had a little insight into all this stuff, and we worked at a lot of trade shows involving this stuff. So we kind of have a little bit of a different understanding in it all. And you'll notice no retail store will have a lot of Club Mint in stock. It just doesn't happen. A lot of barbers to this day will even sell it.
And I think that's a lot like DE Blades too. It's like same thing with those. You're not going to see those at retail stores as well. You have to find those online. But I think it's just a generational thing. I think back in the day before there was all this competition, Club Mint did dominate and did. I just think that they probably had to go into the barber fields eventually, to survive. But it's true. The Pinard Club Mint. I mean, they make the mustache wax too, which doesn't smell like the cologne, but it's still called Pinard. So I don't know. So we just identify that as a scent. But I mean, like, look at all their other scents, like the vanilla and the bay rum. I mean, like, they're specific with what those are. So when you buy a shave soap and it says Pinard Club Mint, and you buy the cologne, it says Pinard, you want it to smell the same to match it. So I think they might have just distanced some potential customers in the future. I don't know.
And also the process in which they make the soap, maybe the scent can't survive. Maybe they're not using a quality thing or something with the way that they're mass producing that stuff. Maybe the scent just can't survive the process. Just like when people, I think Chris Cullen was saying, a pear essential oil or a pear scent can't survive the heat process of making the soap. I think Busta had requested like pear in his soap, his signature soap originally, and Chris
Cullen survived the particular one that he was looking at, the flash point might have been low on that, but there are some pears that have a higher flash point that you could use. But there's different fragrance oils and essential oils that can and can't be used at certain temperatures. They won't survive it, or they'll cause the soap to seize and it won't be usable. So there are different chemical reactions, but I think Club Mint could pull it off. I mean, I pulled it off with Club Guy, so I'm sure these guys with all the money in the world could definitely pull it off.
But with them just entering this field, it may be a matter of desire as opposed to ability, and they may not just want to pull it off yet. If they don't see it, they don't know how fruitful their labor would be.
That sounds dumb, though. I mean, like, if you want to make an impression, like, if you want to like own it, you got to get it right the first time. You can't be willy-nilly about it. I mean, look at Simon Camaj.
Look at me.
I'd rather not.
Look at him.
I'd rather not.
No, this is an interesting conversation. We are winding down, however, folks. We're doing a 60-minute show today, so before we take off, I don't know how many people are watching. Christian, I don't want to forget you, so let's do the Movember winner.
All right. So this is our fourth and last raffle, so no more harassment from me on all the Facebook and Google shaving social media. So the prizes this week are pretty interesting. We've got soap from Jeeves on Hudson Street. So it's Byron Postlethwaite's pomegranate cranberry soap, which is a very nice soap. It's sold out. It's limited seasonal soap, I believe. And so he had
awesome scent.
Yeah, he has a puck of that, 7 ounces of that available. And then Ernie Boraga is back in the game, slowly but surely, but he's opened up his website again. He's launched a brand new aftershave, a Yeti Snot aftershave. So I can imagine it'd probably be close to, not close to, but in the same family as not the cat o' nine tails, the snake bite from Fine Accoutrements. So it's highly mentholated, and I think he's got a little bit of mint in there. So who knows? It might even be close to Kane a little bit, but I think Kane has some barbershop notes in there too. So anyways, Ernie at Shaving Yeti is offering 3 soaps, so 3 prizes. So the winner chooses either a puck, 4.2 ounce puck, or a 2.4 ounce stick format. So we've got 4 prizes, 4 draws. So now I'm on my phone for this, and I have my computer set up here. So I'm going to just turn it around and just see if we can do this. Can everyone? No. Oh, this is horrible.
I believe you. We believe you. So.
All right.
Said my name. Thanks, guys.
So we got Amando, Cardenas, 1 to 5. Bo Champion from number 6 and 7. Mike Flitz from 8 to 13. Todd Molina from 14 to 16. And Hugo Martinez from 17 to 19. So I'm going to random org here, and I'm going to click on the numbers. I need sequences. So I need 4 numbers. The largest value is 19. 1, 9. Oops, not this one. I'm sorry for taking a bit of time here. Here we go. Generate 1 number with 4 unique numbers between 1 and 19. Thank goodness I took those stats classes. Okay, here we go. So we have number 2, 10, 11, and 15. So 2, Amando wins the Jeeves of Hudson soap.
Nice.
And the next 3 winners, number 10, Mike Flitz. Mike Flitz wins 2 Yeti Snots, and Todd Molina wins another a Yeti Snot. So we've got our 4 winners. I'll contact them, and the soaps are done, are given away. So thanks again to Brian and Ernie for donating the soaps. I'm really happy for everyone that's donated money to the How to Grow a Mustache Movember teams. And that's it for this year. So this week we've raised some money, and I've got one minor surprise left for December 1st for Movember, a little clip. But otherwise, everything is sort of winding down. But I would appreciate if people, the 54 plus 15, the 69 members of How to Grow Mustache Movember teams would give one last push to raise some money with their family and friends. I think we've tapped out all the wet shavers around here for the last month. So that's it for my blurb. Thanks a lot.
Christian, did you shave with it? Did you shave with it, Christian?
Shave with what?
These nuts?
Oh man!
Well, we went the entire show without that happening, and then
you got the new guy. I'm honored. I feel honored.
Oh, yeah. Guys, before we out, we have some questions. It seems we have a boatload of nude women that. Okay, no, I don't know what that is. But I'm telling you, it's on our Twitter.
Yeah, what are you looking at?
Wow. Yeah. Oh.
Email.
Abraham Miela wants to know what our wet shaving goals are for the new year. A new brush acquisition, a razor, looking to pick up a new soap, or dream collaboration. Any of you guys?
I like that. I'll start with that one. Wait, what was the question again?
What are your wet shaving goals for the new year? Is there a new brush acquisition, a razor?
Actually, my wet shaving goal is the same thing as every other year. You know, all the brushes, all the soaps, and everything after shaves, it is nice, but I've met so many good people in this hobby, and I introduced so many people to shaving. So if I could get like another 10 wet shavers to join in, then I'm happy. You know, I want to get as many people as I can in wet shaving.
Right.
So that would be my goal, just to get a bunch of people over, just like last year. That would be all.
Okay. How about you, David?
My most immediate goal for the new year is I need to find a blade worthy enough to match this brush. I have the blanks to match this brush perfectly, and I need to find a blade worthy of it. So I'm gonna look for a nice size, probably Wade & Butcher, to get restored and rescaled, and something that'll match this. So that's my immediate goal. How about you, Ben?
I'm really going to try to do more videos, and, you know, my goal is to get more women into, you know, shaving, so wet shaving, so that's pretty much going to be my goal.
Cool. There's a boatload of them just pulled up on Twitter.
Cool. Did you send you pictures? What?
Oh, yeah, I got a picture.
All right.
Anyways, Christian, what's yours?
I know my shaving goal for next year is actually to learn more about scents and to learn it very properly. Properly. I want to be able to distinguish notes like I hear a lot of people distinguish notes. I can distinguish 1 or 2, but then people start, you know, saying 4 or 5 notes, and I'm going, wow, how did they, you know? And I can sort of do that with wine. but I can't for some reason do it with fragrances. So I'd love to do more of that. And also, like this year, I learned to like the smell of lavender. I don't dislike it anymore. I used to really not like it, and I got myself into it, and I like it. So I think my next big smell category is patchouli, because that right now is, and I know, Douglas, you mentioned that it's used quite a bit as a supporting scent, and I can smell it in some soaps where it's listed. I can't smell it, and I say, oh, well, patchouli's in there. It's not offensive to me, but so that's a personal goal. And like Simon, I'd love to have more people join our hobby. I think it's a great hobby, and I think more people would enjoy it if they tried it.
I'll take this hobby over any other hobby you guys can have. So, women, you guys, this is the best hobby. I mean, really.
This is actually my cheapest hobby. This is my cheapest hobby. I got fish. I'm into saltwater fish, so I have a reef tank.
Oh,
I spent over thousands and thousands of dollars in there.
Yeah.
And I got into cigars and shaving, but shaving seems to be the best one.
Yeah.
The cheapest, I guess.
It's pretty much this and cocaine. Those are my two hobbies. And,
I would have thought meth, actually. For
my neighbors would have thought that, too.
He's not skinny enough for meth.
Yeah.
He's just starting with cocaine.
Yeah. I'm doing it wrong. No, this is the hobby I prefer. This is the hobby that everyone around me prefers I'm into, because, I mean, you should have seen some of the things I was into back in the day. But this parallels, or this is like just right up there with what I've already been into, which is, like antiques, vintage stuff, stamps and so on and so forth. So this is just an extension of where I already was, I think. And there's just so much gear out there still. It hasn't all been scooped up yet. So I personally look forward to collecting more vintage gear, searching out some very unique stuff that it's always great to find the person selling it that has no idea what they have. It's someone that just, is trying to get rid of their dad's gear or whatnot. They're not,
so,
gap.
Question for you, Douglas. Where do you usually go to find the vintage stuff? Like, do you have a go-to place?
Whenever I travel, I try to hit up the antique stores. But I also, even eBay. But you need to, you need to search different keywords.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to give away all my tricks, but if you're searching the same keywords everyone's using or searching for, you're going to get price gouged. Not every time. Once every other while, you'll find something that they don't know what they have, but you're more often than not going to get ripped off. And plus, I prefer picking up in an antique store where I can actually pick it up and look at it. And, having so many wet shaving friends that know even more stuff about this than I do, I can take a picture of it and text it to them right then and there while I'm in the antique store saying, hey, is this a good price? Right. And usually get an answer back really fast, especially if I post on Facebook or something like that where people are always on, because we have problems. But, yeah, so that's what I'm looking forward to, is just more vintage razors in the future. And more soap to be had. It's nonstop. I want to know what the next thing's gonna be. This last year was it's really surprising. It was started off as aftershave. Aftershave was the big thing this year, and then it turned into synthetic brushes. And now I don't know. I guess I just want to predict see what's gonna be next year's big thing. What do you guys have any predictions on that before we cut out of here?
I don't know, man. I think we're gonna see a lot more DE razor restorers. We've always had Razor Emporium doing them, but recently we had Delta Echo coming to the scene, who's awesome. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see a lot more of those type of individuals doing tune-ups on vintage razors, especially those butterfly razors, and doing a lot more different types of refinishing on them. I really think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, look at them showing off. I'm hoping this year people will send me stuff.
Oh no, you better sit down. I don't even want to see where you're going with that.
No, I'm good.
Listen, do you have any predictions?
I don't have any predictions. I agree with David that the tuning of the razors is probably going to become more popular, and I also think that the brush handles are going to change. There's been some different forms out there. I know Marfin does something really original with his wood stuff, and there's been, a lot of skull heads coming out. Oh, yeah. But I think that someone else just put something on Facebook this week. They were sort of like rectangular cubes, and he put a couple of holes in it. Yeah, there's a Tim Blem Jolly Roger. And he put a couple of holes in it, and he said it was ergonomic to hold his brush or whatever. And I think, you know what, that could be something interesting instead of the traditional just circular, tube handle. Maybe something cubic or a different shape. I think the brush handles might get some innovation happening because there's more guys doing it and using different materials. So that might
thinking
be
outside the box. It's not just a sale, not something they're just adding to something else they're already selling. They're actually thinking outside the box and being innovative with what we already have. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I look forward to that. I look forward to like new razors too. I mean, like that's another thing is I talk about how it was like the year of aftershaves and the year of synthetic brushes, but behind the scenes, there were a lot of people trying to put some money together on Kickstarter and whatnot for their razor ideas. There were a lot more than people actually talk about. Safety razor ideas. Yeah, some of them are kind of crazy. The laser one was kind of wacky, but there was a lot going on. I was finding about these things last minute, so I'm wondering if we're going to see them in production now. A lot of these, what we were seeing on Kickstarter last year or this year, coming out this coming year, and if so, will there be even more designs? Will there be more single edge, more double edge, more straight razors? Will there be something else altogether wacky? I don't know. Everything's moving so fast. I'm really excited about this though, and it's great being at like ground zero of all these things. And I'm the host, so I should probably talk to the audience. Guys, thank you so much for joining us with episode. I suck at this. Yeah, I don't know. I'm okay. Episode 23 of the Wet Shavers Roundtable. I hope that people were actually watching us live, or if not, even if they weren't, guys, I still had a great conversation. I'm glad we did this. But thanks for those of you who figured out how to tune in for tuning in, and for those questions. I appreciate it, and hopefully by next week, Ricky's going to give me a little tutorial before we hit the ground running here. So, episode 23, thanks for joining us. See you in episode 24, folks. That's next week. Same bat channel, same bat time. Peace out.
Take care.